When you think of business class, you might imagine sleek and sophisticated, but EVA Air is about to take you in a completely different direction. Welcome aboard the cutest flight in the sky, a Hello Kitty Friends inspired flight where your travel experience is as adorable as it is comfortable. Is this just for the fans, or is this a theme flight that still delivers a premium business class experience?
Is this the cutest flight in the world, or is it just really clever marketing? Either way, I'm sold. Good morning from the bustling city of Cebu in the Philippines. Today is going to be hopefully a very cute flight, although since booking the flight I've been just a little bit paranoid in case there's an equipment swap, and I can't see anything online to say anything otherwise. So we're off to the airport and hopefully flying the A330 on the Hello Kitty plane.
What was cute that while I was getting ready, I was watching Troy Fall of the City. Having got out the shower, it changed the 2021 film Tom and Jerry starring Chloe Grace Moretz. How ironic. Although I'm very aware this has nothing to do with the Hello Kitty franchise. And after catching a rather mysterious flight yesterday with Cathay Pacific with a very strange business class product, I stayed at the Fairfield, which is a modern new property 15 minutes from Mactan Cebu International Airport, with an Uber costing about 300 Filipino pesos.
And I arrived yesterday, so I had some kind of idea, but I did not realise how nice this airport is when I arrived with Cathay Pacific last night. Anyway, let the cuteness begin, let's get checked in.
The terminal as it stands now was originally built in 1966, but plans were made to expand the terminal in 2005, giving the architectural gem that it is today, a much more open-air, tropical theme using lots of wood for construction. And having found my flight on the departure board, Bravo Romeo 282 has check-in desks between C1 and C6, and I'm expecting lots of pink. Often described as the happiest country in the world, yellow seems very befitting, but the only evidence of today's flight in the theme was the luggage tags, which are extremely cute, and the boarding card, which put quite a smile on my face. And feeling happier than normal, I'm all checked in, which was very quick, and it's off to security, which unfortunately was a little bit long.
So just a top tip, it did take half an hour for the immigration and security check, so don't turn up last minute.
With the sun shining, it would be far too easy to just stare wide-eyed out of the window. Despite being a fairly small airport, Cebu gets a quite varied amount of different airplane operators, some of which I've never seen before. And the airport itself is also very pleasing, especially this huge 6-metre tall stained glass window.
So we just walked pretty much the whole of the terminal, and I still have no idea where the lounge is.
After spotting a pretty cool Philippine Air Force military plane with some juicy propellers, I was feeling a bit stupid, until someone at gate 20 pointed out there's a lift just behind me, which I now see as a fairly discreet sign for the lounge. The lounge is third party and operated by Plaza Premium, and it comes with a side order of that beautiful Filipino smiles and charm. The first area of the lounge is dedicated to eating, with a bar just beyond, and there's lots of comfortable seating. And the food is fine, there's a nice little selection, but it's not the most extensive. And at the far end of the lounge, I found these really comfortable recliner chairs, which looked out over the park plains. The blind is a nice touch to shade from the sun, but it's obstructing the kid in me that wants to see and photograph airplanes.
So I'm just having a little bit of breakfast, not too much, because I'm eating the flight. Just had that really beautiful purple rice type thing. It's quite sweet and quite nice. Now it's time for the journey map.
Bravo Romeo 282 departs at 12:15 and covers a distance of 1,029 miles, taking just under 3 hours of hopefully cuteness, arriving into Taipei at 15:10. And then this is my first time spending 2 nights at the Citizen M Hotel, before I do a bit of plane spotting and visit Hutong Cat Village. Just for information, if you plan to go, don't go on a weekend, because it's full of school kids and the cats get fed up. Having asked nicely at the lounge bar, a nice member of staff came over and raised the blinds for me. So I'm looking out the window at the very trendy and newcomer to the airplane world, Starlux, and also waiting patiently for the very colourful beauty that is just about to land. A few minutes later, and there she is, Bravo 16332, which is a 14-year-old Airbus A330-300 decorated in most vibrantly in the Sanrio Hello Kitty theme. I'm not even sure how I discovered its existence. If you head over to EVA Air's website, you can see there's quite a few different liveries on quite a variety of different airplanes, and having totally lost ourselves in the theme, we're planning to try and fly the Boeing 777 version next year from Paris. Sitting where the plugs are, it's really lovely to watch other travellers, going really wide-eyed for the plane and plenty of people taking photos at the window.
I've been thinking about this quite a lot recently, and because the Hello Kitty plane, I think there's such a demand in today's world as a man to be kind of like, ugh. But I am so excited and I have a huge smile on my face for today's flight. Let's go see the plane.
Sadly, the view from the gate was a little bit obstructed by the jet bridge, but you could easily walk a few minutes round the corner for a better view. Boarding starts with Zone 1 for Star Alliance Gold or higher and anyone travelling in business class. Members of staff were on hand to try and prevent a crowd, so there's a designated seating area just to the left, with each zone having their own area. Being quite honest here, I don't really care if you think I'm being sad for enjoying this so much. I mean, in some ways this says more about you than it does about me, and besides, you're watching the video. And now, without further ado, it's on to the seat map. EVA Air's Airbus A330 has 3 sections, and between doors 1 and 2 are 5 rows of business class recliner seats in a 2-2-2 configuration.
Maybe this isn't like EVA Air's newest product, like on the Boeing 787, which is just out of this world, but for a short route, this regional product is really good. It's 21 inches in the width and it's 62 inches in the length.
Which, when you compare them to one of their competitors, Cathay Pacific, is about 15 inches less, although does it really matter because it's a recliner seat.
And probably quite similar to AirAsia's A330, which is that strange angled bed. This interesting also angled, so we'll have a look at that in a bit.
The colour scheme is perhaps a tiny bit bland, but it's like grandma's gone a little bit crazy with the grey and the dark green. But the seats are very comfortable.
It's also surprisingly not very pink, although I really do love the picture at the very front.
I'm also really hopeful because I did check the seat map early this morning, and it was showing as the seat next to me and the middle 2 as empty, but people are still boarding, so you never know. And if this turns out to be wrong, well, I could always just use the privacy divider. When airlines choose these recliner seats, they're not angled towards the window, and as a result there tends to be a lot of foot space. And just above the floor space are 2 storage cupboards, which were particularly useful given that the only other space was a little bit tight. Between the in-flight entertainment screens is a lot of literature, and 2 spaces for water bottles, with a left armrest housing the seat controls as well as the overhead light. With the Hello Kitty theme a little bit on the modest side in business class, I'm taking a quick walk into economy, where besides being in a 242 layout, the headrests are more in keeping with the outside of the plane. EVA chose the 279 Weber 5751 seats, which have 18 inches of width and 32 inches of pitch, with a rather small 3 inches of recline, and a 10-inch HD in-flight entertainment screen. And with nothing more to say, it's back to my comfy recliner.
So just FYI, if you're having the pineapple juice, it's really good. It's a bit like a smoothie.
I also very nicely asked if I could have a glass of champagne, so you can see it in all its fizzy glory. And I was given a refreshing cold towel, and there's also a comfy large white pillow, which adorns the EVA Air branding, and you can request a blanket, which I declined, because the cabin temperature was just right. Luckily, the theme wasn't totally lost with these special Hello Kitty slippers, which were extremely silky and felt pretty at market. I admit I did watch Sam Chu's Hello Kitty flight yesterday night, and I was expecting at least one child to be wearing a Hello Kitty t-shirt. So with the plane pushing back, it was nice to see one of the ground agents taking a keepsake photo of the plane. And if you've not seen the safety video before, then it's sort of an Asian version of Mission Impossible.
Please focus carefully on this video briefing.
现在我们将为您介绍本飞机各项安全设备及使用方法。
We're going to introduce the safety features aboard this aircraft.
I keep forgetting I'm getting older, but when I realize it's too late, wanna be young again, do it over. Feel the innocence on my face. I know you don't owe me any favors, but if you did, it would be more time. So if you're listening, Mother Nature, can't you bend your rules? Just say you'll try. Say you'll give me a chance. Say I won't have a last dance. Say the hourglass in my head is never running out of sand.
So we'll start off with the bathroom tour because those two drinks have gone through me.
Unless it's an Airbus A330 Neo, new engine option, then I would debate whether to show you the bathroom or not, because well, they're from an era where grey was all the rage. It's very clean and it looks well maintained, but the highlight was the beautiful products from Aqua Colonia.
Now, this isn't quite as modern as the system on the 787, the headphones are really good. So let's have a look at the in-flight entertainment.
Starting with the headphones, particularly given the recent pandemic, I'm delighted to see that they've been sterilised, because well, some people have really poor habits. Out of their enclosure, they carry the EVA Air logo and the word Thunder, which sounds powerful. They also feature noise cancelling, and they were particularly comfortable, unlike the ones which sit on the ear because these sit around it. The in-flight entertainment screen is 15.4 inches, which is fine, but they look particularly washed out with the brightness on high, and if you don't do that, the sun makes it impossible to see. And I have absolutely no issue with the content. Again, sorry to mention the newer Boeing 787, but the way this older system is laid out feels a little clunky. Once you found something to watch, there's no problem, with all the latest and best movies. The movie map is also from a different era, so it's not very interactive and more a sit and watch it rotate. The tray table is very sturdy and it has a hint of wood effect, but once you open it, you are trapped in your seat. Now the cabin crew handed out the menus while we're on the ground, and very efficiently took our orders at the same time. I decided to start with EVA Air's signature drink, which has a radioactive green, very on-brand look. What made me smile was it was delivered and then taken away, because she felt that it just didn't look good enough. I'm impressed by the attention to detail, and this is going to be a really good crew. It's just a shame that I don't really like gin, and that's very strong. Don't worry if this is not for you, because other options are available, and the strange thing is, I said can you reduce the alcohol in my special. If you don't want any alcohol at all, then you could choose from a very long page of different options. The hors d'oeuvre, or starter if your French isn't so good, is marinated seafood with lime vinaigrette and vegetable salsa. And there's 3 different options for the main course, and I chose the pan-fried salmon, which was not spicy, and comes with sesame bake, cream sauce and mashed potato, and was very enjoyable. Finally, to finish, the cabin crew gave me both the fruit plate and the Earl Grey Bass top with ganache, which was just wonderful. And it wouldn't be a meal without some kind of bread. 4 options were available, with garlic bread being the delicious favourite. Eating can sometimes feel like going to the gym, exhausting. So knowing this, we were given another cold refreshing towel. But jokes aside, this felt a little bit like overkill, given I had one about 2 hours ago. Wanting something a little bit less intense than the Evergreen Special, I ordered a relaxing oolong tea, which comes in this very pretty little pot. And then I thought, why not? I'll enjoy it in the slightly angled flatbed position. Although I think I did something a bit wrong here, because why was the seat crushing my ankles? Deciding something wasn't quite right, I returned to the upright position to watch the movie Better Man, which until today I had literally no idea this was a movie based on the story and the life of musician Robbie Williams. And the reason for him being portrayed in this way is because during his lifetime throughout his career, he said he felt like he was a performing monkey. If you're from the UK, you'll know what I mean when I say an Argos catalogue, but this one is quite slim and called Sky Shop. Flicking through the pages, there are plenty of fun souvenirs, and you can take home one of these 3D puzzles. Or if you're a big kid like me, you could take home a 1 in 200 size EVA Air Sanrio Hello Kitty Airbus A330. Or a Boeing 777-300, both of which are yours to own for $74 each, or less. I have to admit, I did open the catalogue 3 times, because I was extremely tempted, but you'll have to wait to the end to see whether I purchased anything or not. With Taipei not too far away and a passenger in row 2 clearly making videos for maybe Instagram, I made one more trip to the bathroom, before the landing and the excitement of something at Taipei Airport.
I keep forgetting I'm getting older, but when I realize it's too late, wanna be young again, do it over. Feel the innocence on my face. I know you don't owe me any favors, but if you did, it would be more time. So if you're listening, Mother Nature, can't you bend your rules? Just say you'll try. Say you'll give me a chance. Say I won't ever last. And say the hourglass in my head is never running out of sand. Say you'll grant me a wish. Say I won't ever last. Say the hourglass in.
That was so much fun. It's time for today's conclusion.
I did say there was a surprise at Taipei, and if you can handle this level of pink and cuteness, then head towards the back of the departure hall at Terminal 2 for the Hello Kitty inspired check-in area. It's not real though.
So this probably looks a little bit odd, but this is the largest cat, well, fake cat, I have ever seen. So for today's conclusion, I've come to the mall in Nangang in Taipei. I have to say, you probably can tell from the video that was such a good flight. The cabin crew were really proactive, and even like the welcome drink, they brought it to my table, and then they decided it wasn't good looking enough, so they took it away, came back with something even better. The food was perhaps not my ideal meal, but it was extremely tasty. It's just a personal preference, and the dessert was just delicious with the Ceylon tea, was it? The seat itself, I mean, it would have been slightly different if there'd be someone sitting next to me, but it's a really good product. It's very comfortable, and for such a short route for 2 hours, I'm not really bothered.
I just wish that more of the Hello Kitty theme showed up in business class, but I understand why they keep it limited to avoid putting off premium passengers who didn't expect something so playful.
I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope I compelled you to fly the Hello Kitty flight. I just wish there was a little bit more Hello Kitty involved.
And did I buy anything from the catalogue? Yes, I did.